welcome to the first episode of NY Culture Podcast with your host, Andrea Maria. And today we have a very special guest, Carlos Beltran. How are you doing, Carlos?
Doing good, Andrea. Thank you for having me with you.
How's the retired life going?
Well, retired life is going well. Thanks God. Spending time with the family. Happy to be home. Honestly, happy to be with the kids and the wife.
Cool. So this interview is gonna be a little different. We're gonna talk about the past, like how was it growing up in Puerto Rico?
Well, first of all, growing up in Puerto Rico, growing up in a very humble family back in Manatí, Puerto Rico. Very fortunate to have a good group of people around me. My dad, my mom, they were a big support in my life and still a big support in my life. Um, Basically, I grew up in a family where baseball was huge. My uncles play baseball, my brother, my dad. So basically, baseball was something that was in my blood.
Live in New York now, right?
Yes, now I live in New York City. I have my kids going to school here. I think playing 20 years in baseball, I was fortunate to play 10 of those in New York City, 7 with the Mets, 3 with the Yankees, and I made New York City my home.
Cool. Do you see yourself going back to Puerto Rico now that you're retired?
Well, you know what? I mean, I have to make some trips to Puerto Rico because of
I
all my.
mean, as living.
Well, right now I don't. Maybe in the future, probably we might end up doing that. But right now the kids are in school here. They're doing well. They're doing great, and it's about the kids now.
Got it. Growing up, did you play any other sports?
Yes, when I was growing up in Manatí, Puerto Rico, I used to play volleyball, basketball, and baseball. Those were the three sports that I played. Thanks God, my dad always allowed me to play all three and have fun until I was maybe 15, 16 years old when I decided to focus on baseball and let the other two sports go.
So, what made you pick baseball?
I think it was a conversation with my dad. Was talking to him, and we were going over the athletes that were representing Puerto Rico and the other sports, and there were not many. Baseball was a game where we had a lot of Puerto Ricans play at the big league at that time, and I had a talent, and my dad said to me, Carlos, I do believe that you have an ability to play baseball. Why you just don't focus on it and see what happened? And that's basically what I did. I listened to my dad, but at the same time, I have passion for the game of baseball.
Thank God you listened, because look at all that you had accomplished. Also, so how was it coming up in the minor league system and your first year in the majors?
Well, coming up in the minor leagues was very hard because growing up in Puerto Rico, basically, I'm very attached to my family. We're all together all the time, and leaving the family and leaving my parents back and my brothers and all my my relative was hard. But at the end of the day, it was something that I needed to move forward. Because signing as a professional ball player, you have to basically come to the States, and I needed to learn how to do things on my own and cook and take care of myself. When I was at home, my mom took care of that, but now being on my own, I needed to step up the game, and thanks God, I was able to do that. It was hard because the language was uh, difficult to learn. English come from Puerto Rico, where the main language over there is Spanish. So it wasn't that I was able to adapt myself. It took me time, but at the end of the day, it was something where I was able you know, to practice and try to pick up the language. So because I know that was gonna help me on the way up.
Got it. When did you realize you made it? Like, I'm here, I made it big, because I know sometimes things happen so fast.
Well, honestly speaking, when I was growing up and in the minor leagues as a ball player with the Kansas City Royals, I knew I had an ability, but I never knew how big or how good the ability was gonna play out on the big leagues. And when I got the opportunity to play in the big league level in 1998, I saw myself, competing with all these guys that I grew up watching them, and I saw myself competing at a very high level. So, I basically realized that I needed to work hard. I needed to spend a lot of time in the off season in Puerto Rico to try to get better. And thanks God, in 1999, winning the Rookie of the Year was basically the point where I realized that what I did that year was special, and not many players did that. So I told myself, you know what, I need to continue to work hard and try to be that player that people expect me to be.
Got it. That was actually part of the question about becoming Rookie of the Year. If that was it, like, if that was the reason, like, when you noticed you made it. Um, what was the hardest time period during your career?
I think hardest time period throughout my career, those are the injuries. When you get injured and you're limited to play the game of baseball, and you're limited to go outside and do the things that you love to do. So, but at the end of the day, when you play baseball, you have to understand there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be injuries along the way. And I think the most important thing is being able to stay focused, stay positive, and do the rehab and get back. I went through a lot of those. Uh, but at the end of the day, God gave me the opportunity to have a long career.
So, what kind of adjustments did you make? Because I know back when you was at the Mets, you had a couple of knee injuries, right? Where you had to have a couple of surgeries. How was it that you bounced back and played like almost like with 12 more years around there? What did you do?
Well, first of all, when I was with the Mets and I had the injury on my knee, basically, I did a lot of research and try to protect my knee, wear some brace, and also I have the surgery where they clean up all the part in my knee, and basically the doctor said to me, Carlos, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be able to bounce back, and just keep working hard. I went into the off season. I put the work at the rehab, which was crazy because I was rehabbing twice a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and basically putting that work, gave me the confidence that I was gonna be able to be back in the field, and thanks God I was able to do that. And it was something where basically I didn't give up. The doctors basically in New York City, they told me that uh, Carlos, there's nothing I can do for you on your knee. And I just couldn't believe that my career was going to be over. I don't know, 31 years old. I feel strong. I feel in my mind like I have so much baseball left in me. And thanks God, I was able to put the work and get back and start playing again very high level baseball.
So, how many surgeries did you have?
Well, I have one surgery in 1996 when I was in the minor leagues. College, I had the big one that was with the Mets. I think that was 2011, and also I had a patella tendon one in 2007. So I had three surgeries in my right knee, one in my left one. With the Yankees, I was able to have another one. But you know what? That's part of baseball. Baseball is a game that you get injured, and in my case, being able to play the game for 20 years, I feel like I was lucky.
Yes, you were. Also, like, what other adjustments did you have to make? Did you have to wear a knee brace? Did you, like, what other things you had to do?
I think adjustments that I did that were very key on my career was I was able to adapt the training. I was able to make some adjustment on that area. I end up stop running on the track and doing a lot of jumps that I was doing early in my career, and I basically changed that for whirlpool exercises. A lot of training in the whirlpool, low impact things that basically saved my need to play the game. Until I retired last year.
Okay. What's what was your most memorable moment during your career? I know you have a lot because you have accomplished a lot.
I think memorable moment that I had throughout my career, I think, if I have to pick one, I would have to say that when I got called up to the big leagues, and you get that moment where, thanks God, my mom and my dad were there, my brother, and they got to see me stepping up into the plate that day, and getting the first hit out of the way. I was super nervous. I was super, breathing so hard because I didn't know what to expect. Even though I played that year super well in the single A and double A, in September call up, I get that call to go to the big leagues. It's the same baseball, but when you see yourself playing in a big league stadium, with 35,000 fans, it could be overwhelming. And for me, I was able to overcome in that moment, and thanks God, I played well those 14 games left that we have.
You must like big moments because you do great in the postseason, and that year you was Rookie of the Year. Tell me about your Carlos Beltran Foundation and your baseball academy.
Well, the Carlos Beltran Foundation, basically born when I signed the contract with the New York Mets. Throughout my career, I always been a person that believe in giving back, coming from a humble beginning and understanding that there's a lot of kids back home in Puerto Rico that needed opportunity to give to them, and create. I was able to create a school in Puerto Rico throughout my foundation with Jessica, my wife, and because we believe that giving back is something that as an athlete, I know it's not mandatory, but I think as an athlete, you have to use the platform to do other things for people out there, and we were able to do that through our foundation. And we're proud of the things that we have done, not only in Puerto Rico, but also in every city that I play. I always try to give back to that city, try to give scholarship to kids that are want to go to school, that want to achieve their dreams, and we believe in that.
How many students you service in Puerto Rico in your school?
Well, right now, we've been open for 7 years in Puerto Rico, and we service 150 kids from all over the island. We've been doing that for 7 years. We have probably like 18 to 20 kids drafted in those 7 years, and 98% of those kids, they get the opportunity to get scholarships in Puerto Rico and also in the United States. So the fact that we're helping these kids to use baseball as an instrument to follow their dreams and continue with their education is a great thing. Most of these kids are first timers out of their family going to college. So the fact that we're breaking that chain, where we're giving that kid an opportunity to go to school and focus in academics and try to use the game as an instrument, like I said, to become a professional in any area, for me, it's a beautiful thing. I always look back to my career, and I was lucky that I was able to make it to the big leagues. But sometimes I get caught up in thinking back about all the guys that signed that year with me and they didn't make it. And I always think, what would have happened to Carlos if I would have not make it? Would I would have gone back to school? I don't know, maybe not. So that was something that I always grew up throughout the minor league system in the big leagues, thinking that, if it got given the opportunity, I want to build a high school specialized in baseball because I believe in education.
And you guys also teach the kids English, right? So
Yeah.
they won't have to face the same things you face in the minors.
Exactly. I think something that I did, the program that I built in the academy, is that I try to collect all the things that I went through the minor leagues that gave me trouble, and try to implement a program where I can, provide the students a program where they could be better prepared when they get the opportunity to leave the country and go to the States. And some of them are going to be a professional ball player, other ones are going to be a college student. So yeah, the school is full bilingual. and we try to prepare them the best we can. So when the transition come, it's easier for them.
You won the Roberto Clemente Award. How did it make you feel?
Extremely proud. I think winning the Roberto Clemente Award is one of those awards that I believe every player in baseball should try to win that award, because it's not related to what you're doing on the field. It's related to what you're doing off the field and the impact that you're doing in the community and in my case, my country, Puerto Rico. So I'm super proud of winning that award, being a Puerto Rican and understanding Roberto, what he went through as a ball player, the humanitarian that he was, his story in baseball, and the way he died. Unfortunately, growing up, listening about Roberto Clemente, what kind of person he was, and the fact that years after, God gave me the opportunity to play at the big league level and try to emulate Roberto Clemente and on the field and off the field, and winning that award was a very special moment in my career.
Yes, you deserved it. Also, with the foundation, you help people in Puerto Rico affected by Hurricane Maria.
Yeah, that was something that was very tough. 2017, I'm in Houston, and basically the hurricane hit the island, and you see the devastation on the social media, people posting how the Puerto Rico looked. Basically, was so devastated, and the fact that my family was there and I didn't have communication with them for 7 days, not knowing if they were in need or if they were going through a situation. Finally, I was able to reach out to my brother and listening to the stories of what people were going through over there. I mean, I didn't really thought about it twice. I told Jessica, we have to do something to try to bring supplies to the island fast. And thanks God, Jim Crane, the owner of the Houston Astros, I approached him. I said, Jim, I'm going to donate $1 million, and I'm gonna buy supplies, and I just need you to contact me with your people so I can get some planes and try to get that supply to Puerto Rico. And thanks God we were able to do that. 2 days after, I was able to reach out to my family. Those planes were landing in Puerto Rico. We were able to impact throughout the time that we were sending supplies, like around 18 towns in the northwest part of Puerto Rico where not a lot of help was getting there, and we were able to get there, and we're proud of the job that we did, proud of the volunteers from the foundation and the people that were able to be part of what we were trying to do.
Thank you. You did a lot more than our president. Also, we saw you out there yourself doing taking things to people. How did it make you feel? How was it hearing the stories from the people that was out there?
It was crazy, Andrea, because when I was walking through these towns in Manatee or in Puerto Rico, and I see the people with necessities and in need, and I'm asking them, how do you guys are doing, and they're telling me like, we're gonna be okay, we're resilient, we're gonna stand up again, and we're gonna be better. Puerto Rico's gonna be better. So the fact that I got to see that from the Puerto Rican people, it really made me proud of them. Super proud to be a Puerto Rican. Super proud to have that spirit in my inner self. And honestly, we did that with love, understanding that people needed that help, and we needed to act, basically.
This is why you're a lot of like Roberto Clemente. Is there any other players you looked up to as a kid besides Roberto Clemente?
Well, you know what? Of course, we grew up listening from Roberto Clemente. Never got the chance to watch him play when he was alive. But a guy that I got to watch closely was Bernie Williams, and I got to watch him play also in Puerto Rico, Winter Ball. And when I was drafted in 1995, the team that select me the winner ball team was the Arecibo Lobos, and Bernie Williams was the center fielder of that team. So it was a blessing to watch him closely, and because I was a center fielder also, and Bernie is like, you know, this superstar playing with the Yankees and sweet cheater, doing well, and I try to emulate and try to basically pick up things from him to try to apply it to my game. Thanks God he was able to share information with me, and we became friends throughout my career in baseball. And I always say to him that he's my idol, and and when he answered back to me, he said, "No, no, no, you are my idol now."
Seems like you guys have a great relationship. So I have a theory. I think you're the only player who has played for both Texas team, both New York team, and both Missouri's team. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just my theory. Is it true?
It's true. It's true. And then you know what? Now that you mentioned that, I never thought about it. Yes, I got the opportunity to play with a lot of teams in baseball, and I was able to make a lot of friends. I was able to get to know a lot of people. The directly or indirectly, they were able to impact me in my career. And when I look at my career, I cannot see myself like in one team because I have so many good memories in different ball clubs and throughout my career. And it was fun. It was fun to play for the Mets. It was fun to play for the Yankees. It was fun to when I got traded to the Astros. And I'm young. And BGO and Bagwell were like basically at the end of their career. BGO was 39 and Bagwell I think was 39, and I got to see those guys grind every single day in and day out. So they really taught me a lot that if you want to have a long career, you have to put the time, you have to do things right, and thanks God, 2017. Now I'm back in Houston with Correa, who's 22 or 23, and younger guys. So basically, the script that I was able to live in 2004, me being the younger guy, now I'm 2017, I'm the older guy, trying to help these guys, understand a lot of things on the game of baseball, and God bless us with the opportunity of winning the championship, and that was a great moment in life.
So you was a huge part of building the team culture on that team. How did you go about that?
Well, first of all, I remember when I signed with the Astros, I'm having a conversation with Jessica, and I told Jessica, my wife, you know what, Jessica, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to try to write down all the things that would have been a good impact in my career if I would have had those. And basically, and I did that, and when I show up to spring training, I have a task because I don't know anyone there. So I need to sit down with everyone. I need to get to know the players, ask questions about what they were missing last year, what thoughts that they did last year that they didn't want to repeat this year. So I recollect a lot of information, and I was able to basically come out with my own program and basically try to create that chemistry, try to create that culture in the clubhouse where we were all united, looking after each other, even though sometimes major league teams could get caught up in, Latinos in one area, African Americans in a different area, and Americans in other areas. So we didn't have that in Houston. We were all together, and something that I was able to do throughout with the clubhouse manager was that we try to see things. We try to see the guys spread out. So we could have the opportunity to meet different players, to get to understand different cultures, and not only understand the culture but also respect the culture. And music is something that is an issue sometimes in the clubhouse. So I bought an iPod. I basically went through every single player in the clubhouse, and I asked them, "Give me your three best sons that you like, and we're gonna put them here. We're gonna play shuffle, and whatever comes out, you know. So everybody was able to respect that, and we were able also to celebrate every single win. I had a friend who is the president of WBO. I love boxing, so he made me 2 belts, one for the player of the game, one for the pitcher of the game. So every day we won a ball game, we celebrate the pitcher of the game, we celebrate the player of the game. Those guys needed to stand up, give us a speech or a motivation speech to motivate us for the next day. So we won that day. We won that year 101 games. So 101 times we celebrate like kids, and basically that really got us, to the point where we were united, and at the end of the day, God gave us the opportunity to win the World Series.
So that team culture helped you guys win the World Series, right?
Well, I want to say that it helped us be together. Winning the World Series is so hard. A lot of things need to happen right, but I just want to say that, yeah, I mean, we were super tight. We have fun together. We have team dinners every single month. Something that I have never seen in any team in baseball, and and basically me being able to create that and try to execute it with the team. It was fun to watch. That chemistry is huge in baseball or in any sports.
Definitely is. So, one of your biggest highlights in your career takes place in Houston. How did it feel to tie Barry Bonds for most home runs in a single postseason?
Well, basically, Andrea, when I look up about that time, 2004, I'm coming from Kansas City Royals, where we lost 100 games basically every single year. So I get traded, and normally when you see trades happens in the trade deadline, guys that get traded to teams that are in third place. So I get traded to a team that we're 10 games out. So I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, I come from Kansas City where we lost 100, and now I get traded to a losing team. So this can happen. So anyway, so we started playing better. I was able to put a good 2 month and a half there, and we were able to clinch the last game of the season. And when I'm in the playoff, I mean, I have no expectations other than try to go out and have fun and hopefully do something positive to help the team win. But, it's not like I'm thinking, okay, this is the time for me to do this, do that. So when I'm hitting all these homers, I'm getting caught up in a moment where, Jesus Christ, what is happening? I'm hitting homer basically every other day. So it was great. It was a great experience. Unfortunately, we didn't win to the World Series that year, but the fact that I was able to experience that moment and a moment where everyone is watching, it gave me the opportunity to show people that when you play in small market teams, sometimes people don't even know that you are in the big leagues. So I played 6 years and a half in Kansas City, and all of a sudden people say, like, where's this guy coming from? So I'm scoring hundreds in Kansas City, driving in 100, hitting 25 homers basically every single year, and never got the opportunity to make an All-Star game, never got the opportunity to win. I know, but sometimes when you're having a good career and you think, man, you know what, I'm putting good years and never being rewarded with to go in an All-Star game. And anyway, so that year that I got rewarded to go to the All-Star game as a Royal, I got traded to the Astros. So now I get the call from Major League Baseball saying that I wasn't going to be able to participate because I make the All-Star game with the Royals, and now I got traded to the Astros. So I'm like, oh my goodness, so this can't happen to me. So anyway, Ken Griffey Jr. get hurt, and I also get another call saying, Carlos, now you're gonna represent the Astros and on Ken Griffey Jr.'s behalf. So thanks God I was able to make it, and you know it was a beautiful thing because you know now being a home field player and playing for the Astros and being in that moment, and I think it was an special moment. You know, you never forget things that happen throughout your career. Your first hit, your first All-Star game, your first homer. You know, those are the things that you always remember. And for me, that moment was very special.
'04 was a special year. Is there a special reason why you're so good in the postseason? Come on, your OPS is over 1,000.
Well, for some teams, I might be good. For others, I might not be that good. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you know what? God gave me the opportunity to perform. You know, in those moments. I think it have to do a lot with my personality. It have to do a lot with me being able to control my emotions in those type of moments. A lot of guys can get caught up in trying to go out there and trying to do too much. In my case, I always was a player that didn't show a lot of emotions, even though I care a lot to go out there and play the game. But I think the fact that I was controlling my emotions and controlling, understanding that I just needed to go out and focus and try to do what I have done all season. So it basically allowed me to relax and try to execute my plan.
It's like Michael Kay says, he says the time slows down when you're under pressure. So you go back to Houston and you win the World Series. How did it feel?
My goodness, it feels great to experience that moment in my career. If I have to wish something to the players that are active these days, is that I hope they can experience winning the World Series. Is something that you know you work so hard during the off season, you work so hard during spring training, regular season, to try to get to that moment and like I said before, a lot of things have to go right. The pitching have to do the job. Defense, you have to do the job. Offense, you know, you have to come through when the team needed the most. So there's a lot of parts that they have to go right. And 2017 was a year where you know we played well throughout the regular season. We had a great spring training, and when we went to the playoff, you know, we were hot. You know, we were a hot team. That's why I always said that you know in baseball it's so fun, it's so crazy that you know sometimes the best record never win the World Series. You know, and you always see kind of like the wild card teams, you know, making a push all the way to the World Series, and you know that year, 2017, we were lucky that things went right and we played well.
You guys were hot the whole year. So you win the World Series, announce your retirement, and get an interview to be the Yankees manager. Me looking from the outside, it looked like everything was going so fast. How was the interview?
Well, the interview was good. It was a good experience. Was something that I wasn't expecting. You know, I'm retiring, have some plans with my wife, my family. I'm thinking, well, you know what? You know, after this year, we're gonna be able to spend the summer here to travel, do this and do that. Now, all of a sudden, I get the call by Brian Cashman saying that Carlos, you know, we're gonna interview you for the manager's job. So get ready, come prepare. So, you know, I honestly, talking baseball is something that I feel comfortable. So, you know, I was able to throughout my career to earn the respect that I have in the game of baseball because you know I always try to do things the right way. Always try to respect the teammates. Always try to respect the organization and the uniform that I was playing for in the city also. So having that interview, it really it was fun for me. It was fun. I feel like you know I did good. At the end of the day, they have uh, they have something different in mind. They wanted to go with Boone, who I believe he's a great great man, and a guy who understands also baseball. Uh, you know, if you ask me, Carlos, do you want to manage after you retire from baseball? There's no way that in my mind was managing. But the fact that it's an organization like the New York Yankees who has a lot of history, a lot of tradition, and I was thinking more about what would have meant if I would have got the job more than myself, because as a minority, as a Latino, you know, uh, I was thinking, man, this could be great. This could be huge for Latinos all over the world, and also minorities all over the world. That the fact that if it is happen, having a job where you're managing the Yankees, that's like as a franchise in baseball. It means so much for sports. So I kind of like thought about all that. Never thought about me. Never thought about Carlos spring training. You have to make all the trips. I mean, I haven't made like 2 trips in a row since in 2010. Something like that. Like long years without making like long trips and things like that. So as a manager, you can skip those. You got to get to the ballpark early. You're the last one leaving the ballpark. You have to be in every meeting. You have to discuss a strategy with analytics, with a lot. I mean, there's a lot of things that you got to go through. You have to address the media before the game, after the games, after BP. So it was a lot of things that as a manager you have to go through. Me not winning the job, I was okay, because I got to go back to my initial plans to spend time with my family, and I'm just having a great time with my kids and my wife, and I'm enjoying life.
You have to feel honored because the Yankees only interviewed, what was it, like 3 people? And you was just fresh out of retirement. For them to just go to you, you have to feel honored. You spoke about being the first, like to being a Latino in that position. So recently, your friend Alex Cora got that opportunity and was the first full season manager, Puerto Rican manager, and also won the World Series. How did that make you feel?
Oh, it made me feel very proud. I'm a good friend with him, and we were able to spend 2017 together in Houston. He was a bench coach over there. We talk a lot of baseball after the games. Basically, spend a lot of time discussing things. He wasn't. He don't. He. I don't think he knew that he was gonna get that job, and after basically we win the World Series, the Boston Red Sox call him and say, Alex, we're gonna interview you, and he did great. He won the job. The fact that I think he was able to implement a lot of things that he saw in Houston. He understood the chemistry that we have, and he was able to bring some of that to Boston, and with the team that they have. I mean, there's no doubt that the people thought the Yankees were the team to win the World Series. Nobody really give credit, a lot of credit to Boston. And Alex did a pretty good job. He did a great job. He was able to connect with the players. He was able to let the guys go out there and be themselves and play the game the right way. When I used to watch the games and I used to watch their dugout, I could see their dugout having fun. I could see their dugout, everybody pulling for each other. So those are signs that what is happening in the clubhouse is reflecting on the field, and that's a very positive thing. And super proud of him. Super proud of the job that he did. Puerto Rico was huge for Puerto Rico because after Puerto Rico will have gone through with the hurricane and all the negativity they have, have gone through the island, and receiving that positive from Alex, and everybody was pulling for him.
Yeah, that was exciting. Especially they had like the little parade over there for him.
That was great.
So, do you think you'll be working for an organization this coming season? Because you have a lot of knowledge to share.
Well, right now I have a few offers about trying to get back into the field. Honestly speaking, I have had offers about coaching offers, but right now I'm not seeing myself putting the uniform on and being on the field every single day. I think that I'm not ready for that. I have a 3-year-old kid, Evan Carlos. I have an 11-year-old daughter, Ivana, and a 7-year-old daughter, Kiara. And, they basically need me around, and I want to be around them also. So if I get the opportunity, I would like to do something where I could get some flexibility. Maybe work in the front office where I can be an advisor to any team, and also get the opportunity to get close and talk to some of the guys, prospects and the guys there in the big leagues, things like that, where I could be productive, but being committed 100%, it requires a lot of time. So, and right now, I just want to give that time to my family.
Yeah, you spend a lot. What was it, 20 years?
20 years.
So, and now the kids are used to you being home.
Exactly.
Do you ever just sit back and say, wow, I accomplished all of this?
Well, I think about the things that I did. Sometimes, when the media come to me and ask me questions about Carlos, do you see yourself in the Hall of Fame, or do you see yourself accomplishing, what you did in baseball? How do you feel about it? Honestly speaking, I try not to think about that. I believe that that I work hard for it. It wasn't given to me, and God helped me to accomplish all that, and I'm extremely proud of what I did. I know that people could say, and sometimes I get this a lot, like, "Hey man, if Carlos would have been more healthier, he would have been able to maybe get to 3,000 hits, things like that." But at the end of the day, I don't see it like that way. I see it like it wasn't meant to be. It was something that every players go through situations where you just have to deal with it. And in my case, I went through some injuries. I deal with them, and I was able to bounce back. And I'm proud. I'm proud of my career. Proud of the numbers that I put as a switch hitter. I do value myself different than, I don't compare myself with righties. I don't compare myself with lefties. I compare myself with switch hitters. And when you look at the top switch hitters in the game, and you see your name number 4 in the history of baseball, number 3, number 4, then you know that you have a good career.
Definitely do. So, what are your hobbies now that you're home?
Well, my hobby is making pancakes in the morning, like around I wake up like around 6:30 in the morning, and around 6:35 I'm already in the kitchen, ready to go make some pancakes for the kids. I love it. I love it to wake up early with the kids and get them ready for school. And but I'm having a good time, honestly. I live a simple life. I know God gave me the opportunity to be successful in baseball and to have a long career, and sometimes the people from the outside, in their minds, they gotta be thinking, "Oh man, Carlos is doing this, Carlos is doing that. He should be traveling." But you know what? I prefer to be home. I prefer to be with my kids, with my family, and it's something that I really I want to get the most out of that time.
You missed it. It's not like you missed it, but you wasn't around for so long, right?
Exactly.
So before you leave, do you have any advice you can share for anyone who is trying to make it, whether it's baseball or anything else?
Well, you know what? When I look at my early beginnings in Puerto Rico, I had a lot of people that doubt me that I wasn't gonna be able to make it, and I always try to use negativity as a motivation. That's who I am. That's how I'm wired. Negativity. Sometimes people take it to the heart, and they could say, you know what, I can deal with this, and the fact that people are talking negative about me made me feel sad. I never feel sad about myself. I always feel like, I gotta use that as a motivation to prove myself. I have to use that as a motivation to show the people that I could be a good player, that I could be a consistent player year in, year out. So, and also never let one opinion dictate what was going to happen. I believe that as a human beings, we should control our emotions. We should control our thoughts, and the fact that one negative thought you could change it for a positive in a period of a second. We got that power as human beings, and in my case, I'm always been a competitor. I'm always been positive. I always try to surround myself with people that always push me to want more. No people that want to pull me back or take me away from my goal. Those are not the people that I surround myself. I surround myself with people that give me good advices, and that's how you have to do it. You have to basically you have to create the way, and in search, you have to also do some research. You have to educate yourself. You have to ask for information when you don't know, and don't act like you know everything. I've always been a person that all my career I play hungry because I wanted to be better every single year. I always told myself, you have to find a way to learn something that's going to allow you to be better. So, be positive. In my case, I use negativity as a motivation to keep pushing forward, and most importantly, I pray to God every single day that God help me, to have a more understanding of trying to do my job in a better way where people could see it out there.
I will definitely be taking your advice. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrea, and I wish you the best. And to all the fans out there that are listening, I just want to say thank you for the support that I received from you guys throughout all those 20 years.
Thank you once again.